All right, everybody. Hello. How are you doing? Hope you had a good week. Welcome back. We are now on the third week of 52 short stories. Um, let's see. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about writer's block again, in case anyone has it, because I'm sure, writer's block is something that happens all the time. So let's talk about it some more. One of the things or concerns that people have is saying that they feel that their writing is not literary enough or clever enough. It doesn't sound like any famous writer like Shakespeare. First of all, you have to ask, who is your audience? Is your audience adults, children, or college professors? Um, why does that matter? Because you want actually your audience to read what you wrote. And so you have to think about how, if they can even read it. So if you're writing for children, then you probably need to add pictures. Like I remember as a kid, I refused to read any book that did not have any pictures. Like it had to at least have one or two or something, even if it was a novel. So if you're writing for adults or teenagers, then you also have to think about what is the reading level. There's actually many readability calculators that are free online. You can just take a few of your sentences and it'll show you how easy or hard it is to read what you wrote. American adults usually read about seventh grade level for newspapers and articles, up to ninth grade for novels. Usually, when you say about 10th or 12th grade reading level, that's more for college students or advanced high school students. Now, at the same time, this doesn't really apply for ESL students. When you're a new ESL student, they usually read about the third or fifth grade reading level, which is conversational, and they do not want to read books necessarily with pictures, of course. They want to read real stories. And that's why Twilight, which was written at the fourth grade reading level, was popular with every girl, regardless of nationality. And also Harry Potter series, which was also written at the fourth to sixth grade, which is popular all over the world. So think about your audience. Personally, I always write simply because I taught ESL for 4 years and I want to write stories that my students could have been able to read. And I remember how the teenage girls were so proud and used to carry the thick Twilight novels on top of their books. I like it whenever somebody that is, still learning English is able to read and understand my story. And, same thing. If you're somebody that wants to write in Somali, don't necessarily just start writing everything in poetry form. Write something in conversational Somali because there's more people who will probably be able to read it. So just think about your audience and who's reading it, and just think that there is a lot of, when it comes to our community, most of our readers are new readers. So have a little bit of mercy on them if you're planning on catering to them, and write something that they can understand. Now, of course, if you don't want to do that, you want to be like, Nuruddin, Farah, or whatever, that's fine. Then you have to cater your group or your writing to college students, more American professors, uh, anybody who has like advanced English, college level English. So if you want to do that, that's fine. But just remember, it just depends on who you want to read it. So make sure you check out the readability calculators that are online. Okay? And the other things too, if you don't know what to write about, the trick is also take a nap. Close your eyes for like 30 minutes. Probably by the time you wake up, you'll have a good idea. Because it's hard to really think of ideas when you're tired and you're stressed. So just sleep on it, take a quick nap. After you wake up, you probably will have an idea or know what to write about. Okay? Now, here's the other thing too. How can you choose what you want to write about? You have to think about how long your story is going to be, because when you think about it, like when it's one problem equals one scene and many problems equal a novel. So, and that's also the problem you have when you're writing a novel, because you may not have enough problems to make it into a novel. So maybe it's actually meant to be a short story. So you have to always think about, okay, so how many problems do I have? Is this enough for it to be a novel or not? So if it's one problem, one scene for, a short story. So just you have to think about how many problems you have. Okay? All right, now as for problem solving, be careful when you're writing problems for your characters, because yeah, your characters have to be able to solve the problem, but they can't solve it if you can't solve the problem. So if the problem is too hard that you can't solve it, then how are they supposed to solve it? You're just going to get stuck. So Make sure you know what the solution is to the problem, even if your character doesn't know what the solution is. And these are one of those things where if you really get stuck, you really need to get help. So you have to, like, maybe ask a friend, get advice on it if there are problems that maybe you don't really know too much about. And there's always research. If you're not really sure how to solve the problem, because they're big problems, then just, research it, Google it. Probably the answer is somewhere. So when you're solving a problem, just think about what you already learned in school, identify the problem, explore information, create ideas, select the best idea, build and test the idea, and evaluate the results. Okay? Because every story is always about a problem. Okay, so the next one, that story type 3 that we're going to write about, is bad luck. I'm pretty sure you can already guess where this is going. So the character is trying to fix bad luck. The conflict, why is it so hard to change? Why are they not able to fix it? The disaster, the obstacle that makes it even harder to fix. Reaction, they feel sorry for themselves or not. Dilemma, is it better to just give up? And at the end, they're like, you know what? I'm determined. I'm going to succeed. All right, so for here, you have the victim and you have bad luck. All right, so maybe the victim wanted to do something new. Maybe they were moving, they were getting married, they're getting a job, they're going to school. Oh, like this guy, he decides he's going to go on a boat today. So just think about what is it that, the victim wanted to do, or your character. Okay? So when it comes to bad luck does not necessarily need to be another character. It can be just misfortune. It could be bad weather, they got lost. It could be maybe a thief, maybe they got robbed, maybe the car broke down, maybe they missed the bus, their phone broke. There's a lot of bad luck things that could happen to you. It's not necessarily a character, but it is something that happened to you. So, alright, so what is the worst that could happen? This is a question you should probably always ask whenever you're writing, because it's always important to give your characters a hard time. Even if you are a nice person, you have to give your characters a hard time, which is hard to do. But you have to think about what's the worst that could happen and give them a hard time. Okay? Now, so for example, real quick, I just was like, all right, so Samira's car broke down on her way because she's going out somewhere. It was a snowstorm. No one's answering the phone to help her. Her phone dies. Samira, she's so upset and she's cold. She just is not sure. Should she just walk or freeze to death because there's no other cars on the road, so she doesn't know what to do. When she finally says, I'm going to just start walking, when she starts walking, a Somali guy is driving by and he helps her. Yay! All right, so write an outline for your 6 steps that happen, whether it's in 6 minutes, 1 hour, or 6 hours. Write 100 to 200 words for each step of your short story. And remember, to write a short story every week. It's not possible to write 52 bad short stories in a row. Thank you.